Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to a Drainage District Board of Directors meeting posted for today, February the 20th, 2018. Present are Commissioner Cantu, Precinct 2, Commissioner Flores, Precinct 3, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in prayer.
Thank you. Let us pray. Father God, we again give you many thanks for the beautiful day that you've given us today, Lord. We continue to lift this elected board and this judge, commissioners that you've appointed, Lord. Continue to provide them your wisdom, Lord. Continue to give them your peace, Lord, through your Son Jesus. And when they make decisions that affect us all, but we know that they want what is best for us, Lord, for our great county that we live in. We continue just to pray, lift those up that are battling illnesses, Lord. Be with them, with their loved ones as well, Lord. We continue to ask for wisdom for all our workers. I ask for wisdom for myself, Lord, from you, Lord. We continue to pray for our leadership in this county and our nation, Lord. Just continue to provide guidance in all that we do, Lord. I ask this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Under open forum, did anyone sign up? We have Ms. Fern McClarity.
I'm going to do this in drainage because I know that Frank Traver was with the county and he passed away last Monday evening, early last Tuesday. So I hope y'all think about the little owl. He laid down and just didn't ever wake up. So the Lord took him an easy way. But he was a character. So like I say, one down, but I hope y'all will keep his wife in your prayers and thoughts.
Thank you. On our consent agenda, any concerns?
No, sir. None that we're aware of, sir.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Commissioners, item 5, pursuant to CMR statute, two-step method and procurement packet, presentation of scoring grade for the purpose of ranking by the Board of Directors, sole response received and evaluated for Step 2, RFQ number ACD 1-18-002-0117, construction manager at risk for Dow County Drainage District number 1 new administration building project. We had 3 evaluators with a total score 168 for Buller Construction, Inc. The board wishes to rank as stated.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Authority for the Drainage District number 1 to commence negotiation with the number 1 ranked firm of Buller Construction, Inc.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 6, requesting approval to execute exit briefing form from FEMA as it relates to DR 4223 rain events of 2015 and approve for general manager or his designee to execute. So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 7, there will be no action. We're still working on an issue with the ownership. So if we'll move on, please, to item 8. Excuse me. Request approval of closing documents Parcel 2 as it relates to Dow County Drainage District number 1 administration building project and authority of the chairman of the board to execute documents pending final legal review.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 9, requesting approval to declare surplus the listed items in the herein attached Exhibit A, including vehicle units, heavy equipment, tractors, shredders, and general miscellaneous property for the purpose of sale through auction, scheduled for March 7, 2018, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code 263-152A1.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, requesting authority to publish advertising for the auction of surplus items scheduled to be held March 7, 2018.
So moved.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Requesting authority to remove asset list on Exhibit A, attached to hereto from a Dow County Drainage District number 1 inventory list after finalizing the auction, sale, and in event no bids received.
For approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And item D, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 263-1511 and or 263-15283, Board of Directors proceed to order any of the property on Exhibit A attached hereto to be destroyed or otherwise disposed of as worthless as much as the Board of Directors undertook to sell said items in auction on March 7, 2018, resulting in no bids.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you. Item 10, request approval to issue termination notice for a list of work authorization supplement agreement for the professional service with Javier and Jose Engineering for management engineering services and LNG Engineering for geotechnical services related to Peñitas Drain Basin Project for Dow County Drainage District Number 1, with termination to be on the basis of mutual agreement and consent as stated under Article 3.42 of agreement. What we're doing here is, and I'll read them ahorita, all the subsequent work authorizations. This was an old contract that we had in 09, but obviously we have a new contract with the consultant working in that area and doing the projects and so forth, so we're just doing some house cleaning, basically. So for the record, work authorization number 2, approved by the Board of Directors 10/31/06. Item B, supplemental agreement number 1 to work authorization number 2, approved by the Board on October 31st/06. Item C, work authorization number 3, approved by the Board on 3/18/08. Item D, supplement agreement number 1 to work authorization number 3, approved by the Board on 3/18/08. And item E, work authorization number 3, LNG Engineering Geotechnical Services, approved by the Board on 3/21/07. As I mentioned, these are old work authorizations. The firms are still working on the projects. Mr. Javier Hinojosa is working on the Peñitas work right now through Urban County, and LNG is still providing construction material testing services for the construction that's going on under a separate contract. So we would like to clean this up.
Kent, A to E. Thank you.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 11, request approval
Let
of
me
budget.
just announce for the record, we've been joined by Commissioner Fuentes, Precinct 1.
Yes, sir. Request approval of budget amendments to carry over the December 31st, 2017 available budgets into the 2018 District's Capital Project Fund 130, Capital Projects Fund 132-208 Bond Series, and Capital Projects Fund 133, 2013 Bond Series. This will facilitate the budgetary accounting for continued construction of district projects.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 12, request approval of payment precinct number 1, invoice DD-01 in the amount of $40,914.52 for the use of precinct number 1's heavy equipment for the months of September through December 2017.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 13, request approval of amendment to a local corporation agreement between Dow County Drainage District Number 1 and Dow County Urban County Program as it relates to Peñitas Lateral Project, pending final legal review.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 14, discussion, consideration, and approval of the following personnel actions effective next pay period. Action delete HCD number 1, M&O slot 18-110-433006, slot 146, district projects coordinator position, current budget salary $54,904, and create HCD number 1, M&O position 18-110-433006, slot 146, engineer 3 at a salary of $85,000.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B, approval to revise the salary schedule in accordance with the Board of Directors' action.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And item C, approval of the budget amendment to fund the difference in pay of slot 146 for the remainder of 2018.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries.
We do have a couple items in closed session.
Pursuant to 551071 and 551072 of the Texas Government Code, I will entertain a motion to proceed to executive session.
So moved.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're going to be in executive session for a short while. All right, we're back in open session.
Thank you, Judge. 16A, real estate acquisition, we will proceed as directed, and 16B, no action.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This time we're going to convene a regular meeting of the Hidalgo County.
Motion to
adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. At this time, we're going to be convening our regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court, posted for today, February the 20th, 2018. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we come together today for the good of the citizens of Hidalgo County. Give us your wisdom as we make decisions that will affect them today and in the years to come. Help us to work well together, recognizing that each of us is here because we want what's best for Hidalgo County. And please, Lord, pray for the soul of Frank Traver, one of our IL members, and for peace for his family. Amen.
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 Any concerns with the consent agenda?
Yes, consent agenda. The auditors are not here, but I'll get that for
Well,
you.
we can come back to it if you want.
Yeah, okay.
At this time, we're going to be moving up item number 10A. Our Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, Judge. I'm respectfully requesting we hold off on that. The sheriff is at the presentation of the teen violence over at the courthouse.
That's what we're holding up on 8A also. All right, we will move on to item 30A, 30.8.1, our courthouse item.
Okay, this is Martha Salazar for the Purchasing Department, 30A1. This is a presentation of the scoring grid for the purpose of Hidalgo County Commissioners Court qualifying the sole response received so as to continue with the CMAR process for the RFQP number 292A, Construction Manager at Risk, also known as CMAR, for the construction of a new Hidalgo County Courthouse. As we know, we have advertised this project twice. We did a bit of modifying on the original scope of services requirements and or legal notices to encourage more participation. And although we did have distribution of quite a few packets, we do have one sole response received, that is Morganti. I think one of the factors that's been explained by Jacobs, and I'm sure they're here to, pardon me? Okay, to offer any type of more enlightenment, but I do know that one of the reasons is that other CMAR vendors at this point have pending commitments in the valley, and they also already have established subcontracting. So it was hard for any other vendors at the time to start that relationship with subcontractors. Morganti, though, has made an effort to do that for you. We've also got the scoring grid. We have distributed that to you. And since it is a sole response, your scoring was to know, are they qualified to proceed to the next phase? It becomes apparent from the way the scoring took place that that is the case, that they have met the requirements expected by the county, including what Jacobs has advised you all to do. I'm sure they'll expand more on that. But after discussing it myself with them, they're very confident that Morganti is quite well known in Texas and can offer you the services that you need in proceeding to start the negotiation process, which is phase 2 of this project. I don't know if they're here to... There he is.
They're here.
There's Aaron. So he may want to offer you more information before you proceed on the action on A would be to qualify them to proceed to item 2.
Good morning, gentlemen.
One second.
Kind of giving them
Okay,
a little
thank you.
preview, and you introduce yourself.
Sure.
And then if you want to offer anything else other than it appears I told them that they are qualifying them to proceed, and we did have a visit to him.
Great. Good morning. I'm Brian McIntyre. I'm project manager with Jacobs, here to help you guys get your new courthouse built. This is Aaron Sarfati, who works with me. Did we actually have our PowerPoint so that we can actually use it, or no? Oh. Thank you. We're at the window. Okay.
Do you need some time to set it up?
No, it's fine.
You got it, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're ready. So we went out for a little while back with a one-step process to try to get a CM at risk contractor on board. The intent of using the one-step process was so that we could go ahead and ensure competition from the earliest stage of this, of the solicitation. As part of that, we met with potential builders. They came out. They visited with us. I think that 3 contractors showed up. They went through the entire process with us. Went through a normal Q&A period where they had some opportunity to ask some questions. We sent out a draft of a contract for them to review. And then eventually it was time for us to take the bids. Okay, at the time that we got the bids back in, there was 1 that submitted. So because we used the one-step method, we felt confident that we could proceed because we did do it in a competitive environment. So basically, they were at the pre-bid. They saw that there were 3 people there, and they knew that they were having to competitively bid their prices. Okay, so that left us to go through their qualifications. So I believe that you all had the opportunity to review their qualifications and score them. We also looked at their qualifications and took and called their references and did all the things that we need to do to make sure that we're making a recommendation to bring on board a good and qualified builder. We also looked at their pricing. Their pricing came in good, but obviously if we move to the next step and we go to negotiate with them, we're going to work on some further refining of that. I think that's a good way to say it. We'll negotiate with them. And what we're asking for here today is, like I said, since you've all had the opportunity to review their documents, what we're asking for is the authorization to go ahead and start the negotiation process for their contract. Just as an aside, I believe that they're here. Paul? Oh, there they are. So the guys did come in from Houston because they would also like to get started negotiating their contract. They've been very engaged trying to get to this point. So they're excited to be your builder. We're excited to have them on board and can make a recommendation with all the faith in the world that they're going to be the right builder for us.
Could you introduce them to our community?
Sure, Paul. Would you do me a favor? Would you make you guys can come up and make your recommendation so that they can actually.
Good morning. Paul Coomer with Morgani, Texas, Senior Project Manager for the Courthouse Project. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for your time and consideration.
Brian Pippin, Project Manager for Morgani, Texas. Thank you for your time.
Joe Coomer, Vice President of Operations for Morgani, Texas. Appreciate the opportunity.
David Maida, Project Manager. I'm a local resident, and I look forward to work on this project.
So we'd like to talk to you a little bit about the scoring before we move on. I'll turn it over to Aaron. He's the numbers guy.
Yeah, that's what they say. So just to go fully through the process as we described it in the RFQ, RFP, and I know we had talked about that early on, doing the rankings versus scores, and so we were very prescriptive in the RFQ about how to handle the scoring. So we've gone through that process. Even though there was one bidder, we did want to go through the process to make sure that we were all on board with how it ended up. The commissioners yourselves were the appointed selection committee, so these are your scores in the first box. It's important to note that that's out of a max of 55 points, so 55 is 100% on the qualifications only, so y'all were tasked with reviewing their qualifications and determining whether, in your opinion, they were qualified. As Brian alluded to earlier, we also did an evaluation of their qualifications as well, just sort of as a spot check, and we concur that from a qualifications perspective they are qualified. Second, Jacobs did an evaluation of their price and schedule. So we looked at their pre-construction fee, their general conditions fee, their construction management fee. We looked at their proposed schedule as well, the quality of those things as they were presented, and graded them accordingly. That was out of a max of 40 points, and we were able to give them 38.4 points. When you combine them at the bottom, that's the combined score. It's out of 95 points. The RFQ had a max up to 100 if we elected to. It was an optional interview, which would have been worth 5 points. So that's why you see a 95 instead of 100 is the max. And you see their ranks across the board. They were all ranked number one. So we feel confident with recommending the acceptance of Morganti as qualified to move forward to negotiate the contract.
You're in action for that, Marty?
Yes.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimous.
All right. Item D would be authority to commence the negotiation process with a qualified ranked firm of Morganti, Texas, by the following selected and designated parties. Of course, there would be some members from Commissioner's Court. I don't know if you're going to assign all 5 of yourselves. List the names with Jacobs leading, and purchasing would be involved in overseeing that process. So I don't know who you want to name, or it would be all 5 of you.
What is that for?
The negotiations.
We'll let you, Eddie. I nominate Eddie Cantu. Right?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
So,
Precinct 2, Jacobs. Purchasing just oversees the
I got you. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're good to go then. And 3 is
What? I think we need to vote.
Yeah, move for approval?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
do I stay here and keep going? Judge? Are you going to go back to the agenda, the regular course of the agenda, or do you?
Yes, I think we better.
Okay, why did I ask? Okay.
Judge, Commissioners, if we're going back.
It's too long, Marty, otherwise.
Can you leave the best for last?
Judge, Commissioners, if we can we go to consent agenda? I'm going to ask the court to approve the consent agenda with the exceptions of consent agenda item 5E and 10D.
10B.
D is in dog.
Move for approval except for 5E and 10D.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
As for consent agenda item 5E and 10D, 5E will make sure that the forms are revised, Ms. Linda, and 10D will also make sure that all the appropriate backup documentation, i.e. the invoices, will be attached for HIDA. So if I could ask the court on those with those two statements to take action on consent agenda item 5E and 10D.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Commissioner, did you have?
Yes, Judge, if we can bring up, I know it's a first day of, I see Yvonne Ramon in the audience, but 23A and B, I know she has her hands full today for the next 2 weeks, but you want to take that one out of order? As well as...
We're going to take up item 23A and B.
Thank you.
Ms. Ramon, good to see you.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for that, Commissioner, and I appreciate that very much. Could you have this down, please?
For sure.
While she's handing that out, I'd like to start off with a quote that I came across and I thought was very appropriate. It says, "Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but no one is entitled to their own facts." And that is very appropriate as I move into the first agenda item, which is discussion, consideration, and action, but not an action not limited to election updates. So I don't know if you all saw this article in Sunday's paper, How to Disrupt an Election, Fake IDs, Fraud, and Facebook. It was in Sunday's paper, and it's very, very appropriate to kind of what's happening at every level that we see now in government, because we don't want to let those that want to have that kind of power, that do not put out correct information, we don't want them to have that power. It's not just about infiltrating our voting systems anymore, but it's about infiltrating our heads with information that is just not correct. So let's all work together and let's make sure that we learn the facts and that we find out the facts. And let's start with fact number one. This is a primary. The parties and the candidates are sending out ballot-by-mail applications. This is very, very common. And therefore, the persons who are 65 years of age or older are receiving these applications. I have a friend who's the EA in Fort Bend, and he has already received more than 10. Because in Fort Bend, not only are the Republicans and the Democrats sending out applications, but so are the candidates. So what does this mean? For our voters out there that have been bombarded with applications, all you need to do is send one. And it's very important to note that we in the Elections Department, we do not send out applications for ballot by mail. The only way to receive one from my department is to request one. That's the only way. So these applications are not coming from my office unless the voter requested one. Then fill out one, make sure that you mark the primary, either Democrat or Republican, and that you mark annual application. Our 2015 legislative session revamped the annual application for those that are 65 years of age or older or disabled. And now any election that is taking place throughout the year, all they need to do is fill one application out per year. Then their ballot will be sent to them election after election, even if the county is not running their election. We have to be in touch with those authorities so that the voter receives his or her ballot. So voters are confused right now, and because they are receiving so many applications, they think they're receiving ballots, but they're not. They're only applications, and they only have to fill one out if they so choose. So that's important to make sure that our community understands that fact. There was a change this last legislative session with Senate Bill 5, and it says, before you could fax or email your application for ballot by mail, and you were done, but not anymore. Now, the original application must be received in our office not later than the 4th business day after you have either emailed or faxed that application. That used to be only true with our application to register to vote, but now it's also true for our application for ballot by mail, so it's very, very important that our voters know that. Senate bill also made the penalty harsher for those that are falsifying information on these applications. So under certain circumstances, there's a state jail felony of 180 days to 2 years in jail and or up to a $10,000 fine. So that's under certain circumstances if the information on a mail ballot is being falsified intentionally. The second fact is that our community is doing a great job in returning any voter certificates that were mailed to a voter who no longer lives at that address. Don't just toss them down, don't just leave them alone, send them back. All you have to do is write on the back, does not live here, sign it, put it in the mail, and it'll get back to us. Why? Because some voters don't update their information. And the only way that we will know that there has been a change is if we get that voter certificate back. So we've been receiving quite a few, but again, we need to make sure that everyone is aware that they are receiving that certificate because the voter himself or herself has not made a change. So great job there.
Question.
The third fact, yes, sir.
Just a question.
Yes.
So voters that are going to the polls today, if they show up with just a card, are they too supposed to provide identification?
Yes, sir. Great
Perfect.
question. Great question, Commissioner. The voter ID law says that they must show one of the 7 IDs, if in fact they do possess one. If they don't possess one of the 7, then they can go to List B. And List B would be the voter certificate. That's part of List B. They could use their voter certificate, but then they would fill out what is called a reasonable impediment declaration. If they don't possess one of the 7, that's the change in this law this last legislative session. If they possess one of the 7, then they must use one of the 7. So what would happen if they don't show up with one of their 7 IDs? Then they would fill out what is called a voter ID provisional, and they have up to 6 days after Election Day to come by my office and show it. And then their ballot will be assessed by ballot board, and it should move forward. Okay, so voter ID still stands. The third fact is I'm here. My staff and I have worked so hard, so diligently, so tirelessly to prepare for this election. So if anyone has any questions, please call, and let's work together to make sure that we are listening to the true facts, and we're not just believing malicious lies that are out there, as we all know. So thank you so much for your support on everything. Keep in mind that early voting starts today, runs through Friday, March 2nd. There was a great insert in the paper this Sunday. It will show you all the early vote sites and the mobile sites. The election day sites will be on next Sunday's paper so that the voters will also have that, keeping in mind that now on election day you can also vote at any location just like you can during the early vote. Follow us on social media. We're going to be tweeting and posting updates on our Facebook throughout the election, so we would appreciate your support in making sure that our community is keeping up with everything happening during this election cycle. Now, you did receive one of these. This is, of course, again, the calendar of the dates, just to keep you updated on your March 6th primary election day and all the other deadlines. And, of course, if you don't have any questions, then we will proceed to B.
One last question.
Yes, sir.
Validating change of addresses.
Validating change of addresses.
Mm-hmm. How are you handling that?
Mm-hmm. The state of Texas requires that any change on your information on your voter database be done 30 days prior to Election Day. So that deadline was the 5th of February. But it doesn't mean that we don't keep receiving these updates. So when we get an update, then those are processed and will be ready for any runoff or from then on, any May election, any runoff, anything else. But for this primary, that change would not be able to take place. They are an active voter, though, and they will, by the state of Texas law, be allowed to vote in the address in which they are registered.
On the list of mobile voting sites.
Yes, sir, that's B.
For County Commissioner Precinct 3 area, you've got one voting site that there appears to be a change. The TLC pharmacy.
Yes, sir.
It used to be that it was there the whole day. Now you're limiting it to from 7 to 1 p.m. Is there a way that we could extend it for at least one more hour?
I sent this list to each commissioner and all your chiefs of staff way in advance so that we could get your, definitely your. So Commissioner Flores, you were one of the first that recommended moving to the Sherryland Administration Building, which we did. Yeah. Commissioner Palacios also recommended adding in the San Carlos Community Center. And so those were the only recommendations that we got. Then we did get the call about TLC, and so we were able to work with the San Carlos Community Center, and we were able then to give them the half day. So that's the only availability that we had at that time, which was just last week after we were getting ready to go to print, and so Commissioner worked with us, and we worked with Commissioner Flores' staff, and that's what we were able to bring into the schedule.
My recommendation for February 28th will be from 7 to 2 o'clock. Be all right?
Edinburgh has.
Unless you want to do it all day.
Well, Edinburgh has, and the Precinct 4 area has had a lot of sites, and there's good access to voting sites.
That's the only one in Precinct 3, no?
I mean, I don't mind even if you go from Wednesday the full day at TLC Pharmacy. I'm good with that too.
Well, that's my recommendation then. I'll move for approval on that.
Okay, so to be clear again, could you please repeat what we're changing?
Oh, hold on. Let me look.
February
Oh, yeah.
28th.
So, Commissioners recommended it on Wednesday, February 28th for the TLC Pharmacy, that it be there for the full day.
And so Edinburgh Regional Medical Center would not have a site then?
Yeah.
Well, they're right down the road from all the other sites right now. I think to be fair, countywide, I have no problem with the adjustments if that's what
I'll second Commissioner Flores'.
Okay, just so that you know, good thing, and we always have another publication that goes out on the Sunday before Election Day. early vote will be over, but we will be then on social media, be correcting the mobile site as it is now. And of course, we'll make sure that, all of you, of course, help us by making sure that you're sharing our change. So then, just to be clear then, on Wednesday, February 28th, TLC Pharmacy will be on from 7 to 7 p.m. And Edinburgh Regional Medical Center will not be a mobile site.
Yeah. That means my motion.
Second.
All right, those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, can I abstain on this one just because I'm on the ballot?
That'll be fine, sir. We have, for the record, Commissioner Palacios, Precinct 4, is abstaining on that action.
Ms. Ramon, I have a question and,
Yes.
and a comment. In these elections, there's always a long list of people running for office, and I've seen people that have lists of people that they're going to vote for. Can they take a list, a paper list, or their phone, or their phone, in and read off the phone and vote in that manner, or is that?
They can take a list, Commissioner. They absolutely, by law, can take a list with the markings on, for example, a sample ballot or anything that they would care to take. The only thing, of course, is that they keep it secure and confidential and not be sharing or showing. A phone is not acceptable because the law still hasn't changed. An electronic device cannot be within 100 feet of the door of a poll location. And so even if they were just to open it at the poll booth, at the booth itself, it would be in violation of that electronic law. But they can, of course, take their list.
So phones have to stay 100 feet away?
They can be off or silent and not be shown.
Okay.
People, of course, carry them. We all carry them with
Sure.
us. So as long as they're not taking them out and showing them and using them, if they are, the judge will just ask them to put them away.
But they could take a list, a paper list.
They can, yes,
Does
sir.
it have to be a certain color?
No, sir. Our sample ballots have to be yellow. But if they take a list themselves and they have it in their pocket or wherever they have it and they pull it out, it can be anything. It can be a push card. It can be anything as long as they are not using it for electioneering in the poll booth.
Okay, because I had heard about the canary yellow.
Those are our sample ballots
sample
that we
ballots.
distribute at the poll location.
My comment is, do you have on your website or Facebook, some of the questions that you addressed right now or comments? Do you have like a frequently asked questions?
Yes, sir. We
It's
are
on
in the
your
process
website?
of creating that. In fact, my talk today stems from a press release that we are getting ready to send out and an FAQ that we are getting ready to put on our website, because I think it's very important that we address those questions that people may have. And again, if they have any more questions, we definitely appreciate that they would call us and ask.
And that's the thing. I mean, you're never going to combat fake accounts and
That's
people
right.
making false statements and stuff like that. But they will give you some information to make sure that you have on your website or your Facebook to make sure that you're addressing some of those concerns. I think that's all that you can do is just put
Yes,
the truth and the facts out there. And if you do that and it's easily accessible, then that's all you can do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that recommendation, which we are definitely working to succeed and get on there as quickly as possible. Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
There's our district attorney.
No, sir. They are not. I've got it. They're running just a.
All right, that'll be fine. At this time, we're going to proceed to executive office, item 5A.
Thank you, Judge Commissioners. There's no action under item 5A, 1 and 2. Item 5B, I'm going to defer to Commissioner Palacios. He is our liaison with respect to the office. And Commissioner, if I may, let me just read out the item.
Yes, please.
Item 5B, grand opening of new Veterans Office location on Thursday, February 22nd, 2018 at 10 a.m. And that would be 10213 North 10th Street, Suite B, here in McAllen. Commissioner?
Yeah, we are excited to open that office. Again, it'll be this Thursday, February 22nd at 10 a.m. We did invite veterans. We got Pepe, you want to go ahead?
Yes. We've got Mr. De Los Santos here. We're really excited to announce the new office for veterans. We're going to have better access, more space. We've got Mr. De Los Santos, that's the director of the department, to just give a few words regarding the new office.
Thank you. Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning.
Today, it gives me pleasure to announce and invite everyone and the general public also to attend a ribbon cutting ceremony that's going to be on our new location, which is located on North 10th Street. And basically what we have done is try to reach out to our general public as much as possible, but especially our veterans. We have sent over 2,500 invitations to our veterans, see if they can join us on that particular day. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Once again, thank you for the great facility, and it's awesome. So far, we opened our doors about a week and a half ago. We have serviced over 150 veterans already. We're ready and set to go. The only thing we're waiting on is our flagpole, and I spoke to Mr. Daniel Flores that he is going to go ahead and get that done for us. General public, we want to invite you to a very special event. Our veterans are one of our most individuals that are defenders of our country. Please join us on that day. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't think that there's any action needed on that item.
No, there is no action. That was just for the benefit of the constituency. And Judge Commissioners, I also want to say thank you with respect to making this happen. I know that we've been working on this for quite some time. And so, again, thanks to each and every commissioner and the judge for assisting us in this project and all the little obstacles that we had to overcome to get to this point. With that being said, I'm sorry, but with that being said, the overall goal, obviously, and we are continuing to work at that, is that we have a facility for the Veterans Office that we are not renting and or leasing, and we are working towards that end. But for right now, I think this is the best of both worlds right now. Item C, Judge Commissioners, for Veterans Office, I do need a motion and a second. I'm requesting authorization approval of purchase promotional items under public purpose pursuant to Texas Constitution Article 3, Section 52.
So move.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Under Economic Development, I'm going to ask Mr. Leo or Mr. Villarreal.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Just an update on the Small Town Economic Development Grant Program. I just want to remind people that deadline is March 15th. We're about a month away. We did meet with the Small Cities Coalition with the Council of Governments last week to tell them about the program. We're getting a lot of interest. We'll be coordinating with individual city councils to present it as well. There will be a small mention of the program in the Monitor and the insert this Sunday coming up. And again, if there's any information that people want or are interested, the letter of intent should be submitted by March 15th. And for more information, you can go to hidalgocounty.us/STED grant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheriff.
Under Emergency Management, Chief, could you give me 2 seconds, please? I see the sheriff's in the audience. Sheriff, you did have an agenda item. Judge, if we could go to the sheriff's agenda, which is item 10. 10? Yes, 10. Sheriff?
Good morning, Sheriff.
Oh, thank you.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. I'm just going to go through a real quick PowerPoint with you all. give you all a little overview of some of our numbers that we did last year. So we're going to start off with our calls for service. And for fiscal year 2017, the number was 119,148, which was about a 4.5% increase from the year before. And of course, for the past 5 years, those numbers have been steadily increasing. Next, on our 911 calls received through our Sheriff's Office dispatch, we saw a 19.43% decrease from the year before. And this is a result of better technology that the 911 is using now. If you live inside of a city, it is now going to their 911 call center versus ours. And of course, also educating the public on the use of 911. And we're constantly on social media and on the news giving out our contact number and our Crime Stoppers number. So looks like it's working. Next is the actual number of dispatch calls that we received, and these in 2013 we saw an increase, 93,741, and you've got a little graph there that shows for the past 5 years what those numbers have been looking like. So our response time, if you take those 93,000 calls, we are mapping and keeping track of our response time, and we've been able to reduce it from 2012. As you can see, it was 22 minutes, and in 2017 it is down to 12 minutes. This is due to the fact on our intelligence-led policing efforts and the proper placing of our resources now that we've got that data and we're able to analyze it. Next, we're going to show you our UCR Crime Stats, and we're very proud of this accomplishment. We were able to reduce our total crime index. This is a measure that the FBI uses, and from the year before, it dropped significantly, down 13.2%. If you go back and you look at our violent crime, we saw an increase of 5.4. That was due to our higher number in our murder rate and our aggravated assaults. I do want to mention for the past 2 years, if you take those two numbers on our murder, 50% of those were due to family violence issues. However, on our property crimes, we've been able to steadily reduce that. If you go back on this next slide, it shows the crime comparison going back to 2008, and that's so far that's been the lowest number since 2010. We've been steadily been able to reduce our crime index. This is a good number that y'all can use. You know, this area is constantly getting thrown under the bus since we're a county border, and we're often put, that there's a lot of crime, but these numbers are indicating that our crimes is continually going down, along with some of our major cities. As far as our drug cases, and as you know, in 2014, we established our strike teams, and I concentrated on our street level narcotics. So you see the numbers starting to increase from 2014, and that year we saw 2014, 2015, we saw a rise in our spice use with our youth, And that's when we started creating our strike teams and concentrating on our street level drugs, which that's one of the reasons why we also have a decrease in our property crime. Those individuals that have a substance abuse problem, they need money to buy their drugs, so they turn to burglarizing and doing property crime, thefts, things of that nature. So we're still continuing to combat that. Switching over to our jail, those are our numbers. Our 2017, you'll see about a 10% increase in our bookings from the year before. That's probably due to the increased presence of law enforcement. Our state partners increased their presence, and of course all our federal our local law enforcement are doing a good job of making more arrests. So those are the numbers. Of course, with our population continuing to grow, those numbers are going to increase. Our training academy, we see some very, very large increase from 2016. There's an increase of 23% in student attendance. This is due to increased coordination with other agencies, and we're doing a very, very robust public outreach. And of course, right now the hot topic is active shooters, and we in 2017 we put on more than 40 active shooter classes with more than 1,200 civilians attaining those courses. And we also getting a very, very high demand so far this year. Of course, our churches and schools continue to tax us for more and more courses on our active shooters. Also, one of the increase in number of students was due to our TAC Medic program. Of course, the Sheriff's Office created the first of our technical medical program, which is certified. We certified various deputies and jailers as EMTs, and currently we are the only program of its kind in the state of Texas that is authorized to certified law enforcement officers as EMT and emergency care attendants, and we also have one of the largest canine medic programs in South Texas. On our civil process side, those are the numbers of total processes that we served. Just a small increase from 2016. Of course, with y'all's help and working with our budget management, we've been able to do a lot of our technology upgrades. IT, we are now merging all of our IT to be self-sufficient there at the Sheriff's Office. We've done some physical security around the Sheriff's Office. Of course, you all know about the vehicle replacement program. We've done a lot of upgrades to our equipment, and we are currently staffing the Texas Transnational Intelligence Center and our anti-gang initiative with personnel and crime analysts. So if those are real quick. If anybody has any questions, I'll entertain any questions that y'all might have.
Good job, Sheriff. I hear a lot of good things out there on the street.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank y'all very much.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you.
I'll have my Division Chief Joel Rivera continue on with the other items that we have.
Judge, do you want to move on with agenda item 10, or are you guys going to move around? I know that there's some resolutions that need to be passed.
I know that we're waiting for our district attorney. I'm not sure if he's here yet. He's not, so we go ahead and proceed with your items.
Okay, thank you. Agenda item
10D.
10B. Requesting authorization for the county judge to execute the 2017 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report.
So move approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
10C, authorization and approval to apply for LBSP fiscal year 19 grant with the Office of the Governor, Homeland Security Grants Division through eGrants.
Approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
To authorization for county judge to e-sign application under eGrants as authorized official.
Approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Approval of resolution for LBSP fiscal year 19 grant to designate Judge Ramon Garcia as grantee's authorized official and to sign required document grant period fiscal year September 1st, 2018 through August 31st, 2019.
Approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye, motion carries.
Agenda item 10D, authorization and approval to apply for the Violence Against Women Justice and Training Program with the Office of the Criminal Justice Division. And so just a little bit of insight on this. This is one of those statistics, in spite of the great year that we've been having for the reduction of the crime index, we've poured a lot of resources and a lot of energy towards this one statistic. This one statistic, no matter what we do, we simply cannot get it to go down. It continues, it holds steady. And so the true telling statistic, it really is the homicides. So when it comes to domestic violence, there's an escalation in domestic violence. So the way it occurs, it may begin with strong words, then it slowly migrates to physical contact, then it escalates to an assault, and then it culminates in a homicide. The telling statistic, it was last year, it was nearly 50% of the homicides that we have. I think it was 40% of the homicides we had a nexus to domestic violence. The year before that, it was 70%. So together in the last 2 years, our homicides have culminated in about 50% of our homicides here over the last 2 years. And so I say this because this is a cash match grant. In spite of all of our efforts, we simply cannot bring this statistic down.
Good morning, Commissioners. Judge Oscar Montoya, Chief of Investigations. Good morning, sir. So at the end of the day, in the property crime area, we were able to analyze the problem, attack it at its base, and bring that crime rate down. Unfortunately, in the family violence side, we need to get involved before the family violence happens. And that's difficult, especially when law enforcement are busy responding. So the best thing we could come up with that we think would work, and it's followed some stuff from other places in the past, is to go meet with the people that are about to become victims and also the victimizer. And the best way to do that is to send some uniformed presence out into the community, into outreach programs, to go to the houses of people who may be potential victims and see if we can get them convinced that it's not the way to go, and then work together with other community efforts where there may be some counseling involved and things like that. So we've tried sweeps. We've picked up a bunch of people on warrants. We've tried various things. It's just not working. The best thing, like we said, is to find, we know everybody's strapped for cash, so we came up with an idea of going out for a grant. So we are asking for manpower in this to go out and help, and we're hoping that by going out for this grant, it'll help us get that manpower without too much burden on the general fund.
Thank you. So this is a cash match for this. We're only asking for permission to apply, but to give you some idea, the total amount for this grant is $206,435.03. It requires a 29% cash match, which would put the county at about $106,374.87. This is just permission to apply. We haven't received this grant. We're just simply asking for permission to apply, but I feel compelled to disclose that it is a cash match, and today is the deadline.
Malde, do we have the cash?
I was going to ask a couple questions. In answer to that question, Commissioner, yes, we would do what we need to do if the court so desires to proceed. We would do what we need to do to find or to put the cash match in today. But with respect to the cash match, that yields or that nets how many slots or how many officers are?
It is 4 deputies / investigators.
Specifically for this purpose?
Specifically for this purpose with 1 crime victims advocate or liaison.
Okay, so that's a total of 5? Or
4 plus 1, yes.
4 plus 1. Okay, and
we're utilizing the best practices, like the DAYS and the Maryland system program. We're just creating something that's unique. We're encountering here in the Rio Grande Valley and Hidalgo County a cultural issue that we have to combat that. So we have to create a program that will allow us to undertake this endeavor specifically to our region.
How long is the grant for?
It's a 1-year grant that can be re-upped.
That can be re-upped. Now, and is there a sliding scale with respect to?
No.
No. And so, year 2?
We reapply.
Reapply, but again, cash match or?
Cash match. It's the same. It's exactly the same grant.
Okay.
Yep.
So is there somewhere down the road where that reapplying ends or the cash match gets greater and greater so that it's self-sustaining at some point?
No, historically it continues.
It just continues.
Yeah, it just continues. It can be perpetual, but it doesn't say that. It's a year-to-year grant, and so it has to do with funding and and what the grantee has available to them.
Okay.
Obviously, they look at needs and things like that.
Right. Okay. So, Judge, Commissioners, yes. With respect to the question, Commissioner, yes, we would do what we need to do
What
for
about
the cash match.
what about if the grant doesn't come to reality?
And
after we hire, say
that's why I was asking those questions, and I'll get a little more detail from the Sheriff's Office, but that's something that I would work with Sergio, and we would start to figure into our budgeting process. Obviously, I know the court is very pro-law enforcement, and this is a program that obviously, based on the presentation and the stats, is needed, and it's beneficial, obviously, to those individuals on the no pun, but on the wrong side.
But you gonna need action for this?
Yes, we would need action.
Move approval to go out for bids or whatever.
Authorize the application. I'll second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I would like to say that we didn't intentionally do it this way. We thought that this was going to be an in-kind match where we could apply assets or resources towards that. We were going to actually go for the VOCA grant. When we started, getting into the weeds, we were pointed towards the VAWA grant, and that's the current grant. So it wasn't intentionally. We didn't come in here and just kind of do this. It was just we were told late in the day on Friday. We ended up here today with the agenda item already specific. That's why I feel the need to disclose this. I don't want to give any false impressions.
And Judge, Commissioners, just as a matter of, I think it's obvious to the court because of our communications, but for the general public constituency, our office and the Sheriff's Office communicate daily on these types of issues, operational needs, and so, Chief, appreciate the disclosure about what you just said, but with respect to that end, I know that this is something that you've been talking to my office, and I've communicated when I talk to the court with respect to these types of programs.
Thank you. Agenda item number 2, authorization for county judge to e-sign application under e-grants as authorized official.
So move. Second. Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Agenda item E, the Edwards Byron Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, authorization and approval to apply for the fiscal year 2018 Edward Byron's Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, the JAG grant program under the Office of the Criminal Justice Division.
So move. Second. Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Authorization for county judge to e-sign the required documents with e-grants as authorized official.
So move for approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
That's a straight grant, no cash match required, as well as the Firehouse Subs grant. Agenda item F, authorization and approval to apply for the Firehouse Subs grant with Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation.
For approval. Second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
G, approval to clarify the award letter, the award lease and fuel amount for the OSADEF as outlined in the agenda in the amount of $13,800.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Approval to deobligate funds for the OSADEF as outlined in the agenda in the amount of $2,000.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Approval to deobligate revenues from the OSADEF as stated in the agenda item in the amount of $2,000.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Ratification of the approval of Chief Deputy Mario Lopez to sign as the authorized state and local official to accept the grant awards and related documents for both overtime and lease fuel agreements.
Move for approval.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Approval to declare surplus and remove from the county inventory list asset number 51676 German Shepherd for medically required reasons after removal from Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office service.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Approval for the transfer of ownership of the K-9 Officer Indy to Deputy Juan Moreno.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Authorization for Hidalgo County Judge and Hidalgo County Sheriff to sign receipt of acknowledgement.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Approval of affidavit agreement.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Final agenda item, requesting approval to process invoices from Matheson Tri-Gas Incorporated as claimed totaling $162.15 with authority for County Treasurer to issue payment after review, audit, and processing procedures are completed by Hidalgo County Auditor.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
That is all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
One thing I forgot to mention, Judge Commissioners, the last 2 years on the 33 incidents of murder that we've had in this county, our major crimes unit has almost a 100% solvency rate. Last year they solved all of them. The year before they solved every single one of them, and last year there's a question on whether one of the incidents is a murder, but other than that one, they've all been solved. And because of that, the Crime Stoppers Board is recognizing the whole unit as the Deputy of the Year this Thursday. So I want to congratulate them for the great job that they're doing. Thank you all.
All right, we want to welcome our District Attorney, Mr. Ricardo Rodriguez. And we're going to be taking up item 8A.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge and Commissioners. Julia Sullivan with Public Affairs, here with our Criminal District Attorney, Ricardo Rodriguez Jr. Also Rosie Martinez, the Hidalgo County DA Victims Unit Director. And we're also honored to be joined by two members of the Texas Council on Family Violence, Ms. Shannon Murdoch and Mr. Roy Rios, and very many others who were out here for the District Attorney's Young Hearts Matter Teen Daily Violence Prevention activities at the courthouse. And as they're gathering up here, sir, can you come on in so that you're on camera? And as they're coming up here, I'll go ahead and begin reading the proclamation, if that's okay. Okay. So item 8A is a proclamation declaring February 2018 as Young Hearts Matter Teen Dating Violence Prevention Month. Whereas teen dating abuse is a significant health issue, with nearly 20% of youth reporting physical or sexual violence from a dating partner, and 1 in 4 dating teens experiencing abuse or harassment online or through text messaging. And whereas nearly 1.5 million high school students nationwide experience physical abuse from a dating partner in a single year, and approximately 50% of students experiencing dating violence on school grounds. And whereas high school students who experience physical violence in a dating relationship are more likely to use drugs and alcohol, are more likely to engage in risky sexual behavior, more frequently develop self-esteem and body image issues, are at greater risk of suicide, and are much more likely to carry patterns of abuse into future relationships. And whereas parents, teachers, coaches, counselors, healthcare providers, clergy, elected officials, and other important role models are urged to provide young people with education about healthy relationships and relationship skills, changing attitudes that support violence can help prevent teen dating violence. And whereas the Hidalgo County Criminal District Attorney's Office encourages the citizens of Hidalgo County to observe National Teen Dating Violence Prevention Month with activities, conversations, and other items that encourage respectful and nonviolent relationships in their homes, at school, and at community events. Now therefore be it resolved that the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court does hereby proclaim the month of February 2018 as Young Hearts Matter Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and encourages Hidalgo County residents to attend all the scheduled awareness and education events. Approve this 20th day of February 2018.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Once again, thank you for your continued support. This is something very important to us, and it's near and dear, I think, to all of us when we talk about our youth, when we talk about our children, when we talk about our future. We have the beautiful kids from La Jolla that are here with us. Thank you for being with us. Thank you very much. We had a press conference earlier this morning, and they were part of it as well. And they had some great questions, about the movement that started back in 2015, this Young Hearts Matter teen dating violence. It didn't start yesterday. It didn't start the day before. It started in 2015. And Ms. Palomo, did she make her way up? Is she here? Ms. Palomo, who is academics of La Jolla ISD, she joined us back in 2015 in La Jolla, Commissioner. And it started with a small little group of administrators and principals and students, and it's grown since then. It's grown since 2015. It has grown so much that we are proud to say that the Texas Council on Family Violence has recognized the movement, and the efforts of our prevention and awareness when it comes to teen dating violence and other issues that students go through in school and at their homes. So I want to welcome and thank Ms. Shannon Murdoch, who's here, who's the Prevention Director, and Roy Rios, who's the Prevention Manager of the Texas Council on Family Violence. Mr. Rios, thank you for being here. Thank you very much. And Ms. Murdoch, who's back there taking pictures. They are here because they have recognized the movement on the Young Hearts Matter that started back in 2015. And they are here because Rosie Martinez, who's our Crime Victims Director, is being recognized as a Young Hearts Matter Advocate of the Year. So again, we are proud of that as well, being that she's part of the District Attorney's Office, and she will be the first to tell you that it's not about what she's done, but about what we have accomplished. Our office, our law enforcement agencies, our sheriff, who's here also with us. Earlier we had Chief Rodriguez from McAllen, Chief White from Edinburgh, Westlaco PD, FAR PD, Sullivan. So it's been a collaborative effort, and that movement has grown. And why? Because just like you all, Young Hearts Matter. Our young kids matter to us. And unfortunately, we do want to send our condolences to all those who have passed on the Florida incident. It's sad to the kids who have passed and to the families and to the community. So we're trying to do everything we can to stop that from happening here. We want to prevent it. And it starts here. It starts with our children, with our kids. It starts with all the advocate agencies also that have been part of this movement. And it starts with you all as well. And so thank you for participating, and thank you for for your continued support in all our endeavors and all our matters here at the DA's office. So I'm gonna allow Ms. Rosie Martinez to say a few words on behalf of her recognition, and then I'm going to have Mr. Rios also say a few words. So again, thank you for the proclamation. We're sincerely grateful again, and I know that the students are also grateful for what we're doing here today. And again, I want the students to understand, and every child that's out there that's listening, we care about you. We're here to protect you. We're here to help you. We want you to enjoy school. We want you to, wake up in the morning and go to school and say, you know what, I want to go to school. Where you know that there's counselors, teachers, law enforcement, advocate agencies that are there to help you, right? But we must help each other as well. You all are a big part of this community. You all can make a difference in someone's life. So make sure that you're engaged and you care and love each other as much as you can, all right? So I'll pass it on to Rolly. Thank you again. Judge,
thank you, sir.
Commissioners, Judge, thank you so much. We come every year since 2015 to present a proclamation for Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, like Mr. Rodriguez said. This has been a movement that started in 2015, and every year it has gotten bigger and bigger. And in order for something to be a social movement, we need young people to get involved. And we are creating social movement, and that is thanks to every single person that's here today, every community-based organization that works with victims 24/7 in the community, the district attorney's office, the entire staff from the district attorney's office, not just the victims unit, and of course Mr. Rodriguez. I want to recognize his efforts because he is always with us at every single prevention event. It doesn't matter if it's a Saturday, a Sunday, at 7 in the morning or 9 at night. Mr. Rodriguez is there to support our cause and our mission. So I want to commend him for doing that because he has taken our voice and elevated our voices and has created this movement. So thank you so much, sir, for that. And also thank the school districts because this year, although we started with La Jolla in 2015, now we have Wesco ISD, we have McAllen ISD, we have PSJA, and right now I just got a call from Mercedes ISD that they want to have a Young Hearts Matter campaign as well. So this to us is why we're here. We're here for our students, we're here for our youth from our community, and we're going to continue working hard in prevention efforts because we don't want to deal with the aftermath of the problem. We want to be able to prevent from them becoming victims in the future, and that every youth deserves to live a life free of violence. So we thank you for your support.
Thank you.
I'm here on behalf of the Texas Council on Family Violence. We came to recognize Rosie and the incredible efforts that she's done as an advocate to young people who are spreading the message that young hearts matter. And this issue, teen dating violence, is an issue that we have to pay attention to. And so we're so humbled to have this incredible event that has been put together to bring awareness to this issue. And at the center of all of this, we have young people here to show their faces and to show exactly what we're here to do, which is empower young people to hear these words and to go into their communities and make change. And so on behalf of the Texas Council on Family Violence, we're an organization based out of Austin. We support organizations like the Hidalgo County DA's office, family violence providers around the state. We see you all, we hear you all, and we are so inspired by the work that you all are doing. And we are going to look to you all to figure out how can we replicate this type of work in communities all over Texas. So thank you.
Awesome.
Now we have Ms. Palomo. Again, I keep telling Ms. Palomo coming up from La Jolla. This is where it started, and we talked about how we were starting something, and I'll let her finish it out.
I'm honored to be here, especially because I'm advocating for our students. So thank you, commissioners and judge. I want to thank my superintendent, Dr. Aldati Benavides, for allowing me to be here, along with our students and our board members. But I just want to say that it takes people like you in your positions to help us create awareness for our children and for our students in our school districts. So I commend Ms. Martinez for the efforts that she's doing, and our district attorney, Ricardo Rodriguez, for being an ultimate supporter for the cause. We do have these issues that occur constantly in our schools, not just in one school community, but across the probably state of Texas. It does happen. Mr. Rios shared the statistics with us across the state, so it's something that we cannot overlook, especially with the violence that is occurring currently around our country. So I tell our students, you are here because we are looking for learning experiences for you. Part of the requirements from our state and our Ford NGL and T-STEM academies are that you have these opportunities to grow and so that we can develop you as leaders. So I ask you to go back to our school and advocate, and everything that you've learned here today and that you've learned throughout the month of February, that you go share with your partner students and your colleagues at school so that we can be more aware of what's going on in our surroundings, okay? So once again, thank you. And yes, I also want to invite everyone that's here present today and that is going to watch, hopefully, this newscast, that we have a 2K walk this Saturday at the La Jolla School Stadium in La Jolla. And we hope that we can get as many people to go walk with us so that we can create awareness. Commissioner Joe Flores, we hope to see you there. Thank you very much.
Judge, Commissioners, thank you again for your support. I can't stress enough and how you've helped us out throughout these years. And again, I want to thank every agency that's here that has something to do with giving a service to victims or to our community somehow, some way, who were present in the press conference and were also present with us today. So, and to the students, again, thank you for being here, okay? So again, thank you and God bless you.
We want to remind you that if you want to see the meeting on television and yourself in it, it's broadcast on Thursdays at 8 or 9 o'clock at night on Channel 10. 9 p.m. on Channel 10.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your participation.
Judge, we want to try to see if we can pull off a picture.
Yes.
Those beautiful kids.
Half on this side, half on that side. Don't make it stand in this middle area.
You guys can stand in front of Joe.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can have Ivana. Maybe we can have Rosie, the DA, and the two state people. Yeah. Where they're not blocking, as long as they're not blocking. This is wonderful.
You deserve it. You're fine.
I think right here. Right there next to me.
No, it's a picture. I can see right here. Got you? Yes,
Uy, le veo bien el shirt.
That'll make them more. It's rare. Wow. Good. Glad you finally gave in. Eventually, you're going to hear them again.
Everybody on three. Young Hearts Matter. Oh, can't see you. Scoot up. 2, 3.
Young Hearts Matter.
Smile. 1, 2, 3. Everyone smile. Okay.
Also, sure. Do my text? Do my text? Oh, I just text you right now. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Good to see you, man. Yes, sir. Rosie, good to see you. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Arch Finance, what's going on, man? How are you? Good to see you. What's up, brother? How are you, man? Are you running in a couple of weeks or what? Yes, in March. Is it the 17th? It's the St. Patrick's Day. I'll be there. You're going to be there? Yeah. I'm training for sure. There's no way I can run anymore. I got slower now. Oh, I'm way slower. We'll carry you. Yes?
I'm a small guy, so
I think she should.
short.
Oh, she is.
1, 2, 3. Everyone smile, please. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
It's always cold, right? Too many people.
Blanca, you want to go back to Europe?
I was starting to like train because I took a
I
medicine.
know, I was like, oh, you
Yeah.
I want to give you.
I was like, you always get water.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
I knew he was going to beat you.
Chief Saldana. Is Chief Saldana in the audience?
Yes.
Oh, there he is. My apologies. Item E, under 5E. Can I ask Chief Saldana?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, Chief.
On January 31st, we held a wildland fire coordination meeting at the Hidalgo County Health Department. We invited all our partners from the precincts, Hidalgo County Health Department, the Drainage District, City of McAllen, Texas Department of Public Safety, Emergency Management, Texas Forest Service, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, U.S. Border Patrol. This coordination meeting was for us to be able to find out what resources we had available within the county. Should we have a massive fire like we had in 2008 and 2011? With that said, we found out what we had. We have dozers in Precinct 4, dozers in Precinct 1, our 16 water trucks, the 55-gallon water trucks, the 4 3,000-gallon tankers, one in each of the precincts. We have pushed that out. We asked our precincts, should they find a wildfire up in the area, and they got equipment in the area before the fire department gets there, try to suppress it as best as possible with the equipment they may have on hand. We also have them scheduled to do some training in Precinct 4 and 1 for a dozer class this weekend, and then the following weekend, Precinct 4 and 1 for a tanker shuttling class with the fire departments. So we're doing a coordinated effort. Number 2 is we're going to hopefully do an individual class with the Edinburgh Fire Department for all the precincts once all of this is complete. Here tomorrow, we're hosting a ranchers and ranch managers meeting at Brewster Elementary at 5:30 in Lynn San Manuel, along with the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. Sergeant Aaron Cruz, who's helping us coordinate this, he's the sheriff's liaison officer to the ranches. It is very important that without his outreach, we wouldn't be able to do it. We have the Hidalgo County Fire Marshal's Office. Lalo Herrera has been working very closely with him. Hidalgo County Office of Emergency Manager Rolly Casas, who's been coordinating our equipment efforts and resources efforts, along with all the other staffs from the staff members from Office of Emergency Management and Fire Marshal's Office. Our biggest deal is to bring in the Texas Forest Service and U.S. Fish and Wildlife to help us educate those ranchers and managers on how they can prevent or stop a raging fire should it occur, to protect their game, their pastures, plus if they have game, their cattle. Very important. In 2008, we lost over 70,000 acres stretching from Highway 755 all the way across 281 and almost reaching the Willacy County line. We lost several ranch houses and cottages that belong to some of the ranch hands, and also a lot of game and a lot of cattle. By this meeting tomorrow, we're hoping to prevent this. And I would like to thank Judge, Commissioners, for your efforts in allowing us to make this happen. Without you guys, this will not happen. And all my partners involved, and Sheriff Guerra for having Sergeant Aaron Moreno from the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office being the liaison for the ranchers and helping us out. As you all know, we've had a rash of small fires up in that area, but if it wouldn't be for those deputies that are patrolling 281 with that border initiative units, they're the ones that spot them, call the emergency services real quick. Like on just a prime example, on January 11th, we had a major fire on the east side of Los Venados along Highway 681. We had 30 acres that burned, but it could have been worse. But because of the initiative we've taken and created a wildland task force with our fire departments, that was initiated right away. We were able to have crews on hand and be able to stop that fire quickly. That was the day that we have 60 to 80 mile gusts in that area. In your area, Commissioner Fuentes, we had 2 major fires going on at the same time. With that, we were able to reroute some of those tankers and your bulldozer to help us assist in the Monte Alto Elsa area to stop a 30-acre fire also. Those are the coordinated efforts that we're trying to do here to make that happen, to protect life and property for the residents of Hidalgo County. Again, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Item F. Judge Commissioners, I'm asking approval to accept, and this is under Facilities Management, I'm asking the court to accept a check, and that would be a rebate check, check number 00564253, dated February 5th, 2018, from Home Depot, in the amount of $1,048.58. And this is for purchases made between January 1st, 2017 through 12/31/2017. Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item G, I'm asking authorization for Judge Ramon Garcia to sign certification by state or local official for the PHA plan's consistency with the consolidated plan formally submitted by the Hidalgo County Housing Authority for the 2018 annual year capital fund program application.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, I'm going to continue on with items 6 and 7. So item 6 for County Court at Law. 1, there is a request to approve and reimburse Yvette Araiza, who is the Assistant Court Coordinator, in the amount of $20.50. This is for a January payment to DISH with authority for County Treasurer to issue payment check and review after auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 7, under the District Courts for the 398, requesting approval for payment of a claim from Xerox totaling $503.34 with authority for county treasurer to issue payment after review and auditing procedures are completed by our county auditor.
So moved.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Ms. Rosie, item 9 for Haida. Oh, 8. Oh, continuing on item 8.
Good morning, Commissioners. Judge Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. Item 8B, District Attorney TTBH, Fund 1281. Number 1 is discussion, consideration, and approval of amendment to the interlocal agreement between Tropical Texas Behavioral Health and Hidalgo County by and through the Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign amendment to the interlocal agreement, award, and related documents.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Number 3 is the approval of the certification of revenues by the county auditor in the amount of $15,000.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 4 is approval of appropriation of funds in the amount of $15,000.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion carries.
Number 5, approval to authorize the decrease of supplemental pay allowance for the following employee effective 2/22/2018. Employee number 106011, Assistant District Attorney. The new supplemental or proposed supplemental pay will be $11,730.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter C, the DA's Victim Assistance Program grant, VAP Fund 1281. We're asking for approval to deobligate partial in-kind match and to reappropriate funds to cash match from the DA's Chapter 59 funds.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter D, District Attorney Fund 1256, requesting approval of the FY 2016 Amended Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report for the Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, requesting approval of the FY 2017 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report for the Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter E, the DA's Grand Jury Fund 1100, appropriation of funds in the amount of $1,000 to fund the purchase of reference materials.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
May I proceed to item?
Yes.
Item 9A, requesting authorization to amend the 2016 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report and authorize the county judge to execute said report.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
9B, HIDA Task Force Number 1, requesting authorization for county judge to execute the 2017 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Number 2, requesting authorization to submit the FY 2017 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report on behalf of the agency head, Ricardo Rodriguez, Criminal District Attorney, and governing body head, Ramon Garcia, Hidalgo County Judge.
So moved. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter C, HIDA Task Force Fund 1291, approval to continue payment of salaries for 10 HIDA employees currently being paid by the HIDA grant pending the award of the FY 2018 grant.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter D, requesting authorization and approval to pay outstanding invoice to South Padre Island Boatyard in the amount of $7,694.47, being that there was no purchase order obtained for the storage fees or maintenance.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, too.
Item 11, Constable Precinct 1.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Carlos Gonzalez for Precinct 1 Constables. Item 11A, presentation and discussion of the 2017 racial profiling report as presented by the Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 1 Office
in accordance with Article 2.133 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 11B, requesting authorization for the county judge to execute the 2017 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 12, Constable Precinct 2.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Deputy Alonso on behalf of Constable Cantu. I'm here on item 12A, Constable Precinct 2 presentation and discussion of 2017 racial profiling report as presented by Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 2 Department in accordance with Article 2.134 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedures.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next, requesting authorization for the county judge to execute the 2017 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Next one, Edward Bryan Memorial Justice Assistant Grant Program, JAG 1282. Number 1, requesting authorization and approval to apply for the fiscal year 18 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant Program with the Office of Criminal Justice Division. Number 2, requesting approval of resolution to designate county judge as the grantee's authorized official and to sign document.
Move for approval on 1 and 2.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 13, Constable Precinct 3.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Chief Deputy Gonzalez for Precinct 3 Constable's Office. Today we have requesting approval for Year 17 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report for Hidalgo County Constable Precinct 3.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 14, Constable Precinct 4.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Number 14A, requesting authorization for the county judge to execute the 2017 Equitable Sharing Agreement and Certification Report.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
14B, Constable Precinct 4, LBSP, authorization and approval to apply for the Local Border Security Program fiscal year 19 grant with the Office of the Governor's Homeland Security Division through e-grants.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B2, authorization for county judge to e-sign application under e-grants as authorized official.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B3, approve a resolution of LBSP fiscal year 19 grant to designate Judge Ramon Garcia as grantee's authorized official and to sign required documents. Grant period September 1st, 2018, August 31st of 2019.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
14C, Constable Precinct 4, discussion, consideration, approval to appoint Noe Garza Jr., Noe Cantu, Luis Fernando Gordon, Casey John Mendoza, and Yesenia Amanda Zuniga as reserve deputy constables by Constable Gaitan, Constable Precinct 4, in the accordance with Texas Local Government Code Section 86.012.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
That's all I've got, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great week.
Item 15, Constable Precinct 5.
Baldi. I guess nobody showed up.
You gonna do it, Valde?
Yes, so item 15.
15A.
Right. So there is item for Constable Precinct 5 discussion, consideration, approval to appoint Jesse James Vega and Jacob Garcia, Reserve Deputy Constables by Constable Daniel Chilat, Constable Precinct 5, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code Section 86.012. Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, I'd like to just skip over that for a couple minutes, and I'll get back to it.
All right.
All right. Item 16, our tax office.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioner. Santos
Morning.
Castilleja, Motor Vehicle Manager. Mr. Vidal was unable to be here. I have 16A, request approval of dealer deputy agreement between Hidalgo County and the following dealerships subject to the dealerships providing bonds in the amount of $100,000 for each dealership and final legal review. 1, Bert Ogden McAllen Motors Incorporated, doing business as Bert Ogden Nissan. 2, Bert Ogden McAllen Motors Incorporated, doing business as Bert Ogden BMW. 3, Bert Ogden Mission Motors Incorporated, doing business as Bert Ogden Mission Mazda. 4, Bert Ogden Sherryland Motors Incorporated, doing business as Bert Ogden Kia. 5, Fiesta Chevrolet Incorporated, doing business as Fiesta Chevrolet. 6, Fiesta Mission Motors Incorporated, doing business as Bert Ogden Infinity. 7, Fiesta Nissan Incorporated, doing business as Fiesta Nissan. 8, McAllen Jeep Incorporated, doing business as Bert Ogden Subaru. And 9, Bert Ogden Chevrolet Incorporated, doing business as Bert Ogden Cadillac.
So move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you. I also have item 16B.
Go ahead.
This is discussion and approval to execute an interlocal agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of La Jolla for implementation of scofflaw procedures and processes for vehicle registration denial services.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Item 17 are human resources.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Katia Garcia, representing the Department of Human Resources.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Item 17A, requesting waiver of the budget amendment policy, personnel-related amendments for personnel items listed.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Item 17B, Tax Office, approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period. The Department is requesting a reassignment of auto allowance from slot number 0032, Deputy Clerk 2, to slot number 0198, Administrative Assistant 2, in the amount of $750.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Item 17C, Sheriff's Office, approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period. The Department is requesting a reassignment of clothing allowance from slot number 0142, Deputy Sheriff Step 1, to slot number 0108, Deputy Sheriff Step 2, in the amount of $500.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Item 17D, County Court of Law number 7, approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period. The court is requesting a reassignment of the interpreter allowance from slot number 0005, bailiff, to slot number 0004, assistant court coordinator, in the amount of $3,300.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Item 17E, Precinct 1 Road Maintenance and Administration. Number 1, approval of the following personnel actions effective upon Commissioner's Court approval. The precinct is requesting to adjust the salary of 1 slot, to delete 4 slots, and to create 4 slots for a net savings of $3,649. The slots being deleted are slot number 0024, Maintenance 3, at $36,248. Slot number 0146, Crew Leader 2, at $35,548. Slot number 0029, Executive Assistant 3, at $38,000. And slot number 0030, Administrative Assistant 1, at $20,295. The slot being receiving a salary adjustment is slot number 0101, Crew Leader 2, with a current budgeted salary of $44,558 to a proposed budgeted salary of $40,000, and the 4 slots being created are slot number 0163, Maintenance 3, at $32,000. Slot number 0164, Maintenance 2, at $31,000. Slot number 0165, Maintenance 3, at $33,000. And slot number 0036, Administrative Assistant 3, at $35,000. Requesting approval subject to receiving the signed PAR forms.
So moved. Approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2, approval of interdepartmental transfer.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am. Number 18, Urban County.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners.
Morning.
Our first item on the agenda is requesting that you grant the approval to council funding with senior community outreach services services for the senior companion program and the foster grandparent program. This, of course, is at their request.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 18B is subject to House Bill 1295 compliance. We're requesting authority to purchase fire station equipment, which includes fire rescue tools, through the county's membership participation with by board's awarded vendor, Metro Fire Apparatus Specialist, contract number 524-17, in the amount of $31,290, and this is for the Progreso Fire Department.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 18C is subject to House Bill 1295 compliance, requesting authority to purchase fire station equipment, which are also rescue tools, through the county's membership participation with by board's awarded vendor, Metro Fire Apparatus, and this is a contract number 524-17, in the amount of $21,033 for the Elsa Fire Department.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
18D is requesting approval of an amendment of an interlocal cooperation agreement between Hidalgo County Drainage District Number 1 and the Hidalgo County Urban County Program as it relates to the Penitas Lateral Project. There was a concern on behalf of the auditors. However, we do have the document, and it has been approved by legal.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item E is consideration and approval of a construction contract change order for the General Land Office, contract number 12-406-000-6453 for the Penitas Drain Phase 2 project. The change order will be in the amount of $318,973.50, and it will extend the time by an additional 60 calendar days.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 18E2 is consideration and approval to authorize the county judge to sign any and all documents associated with the change orders and or amendments pertaining to this particular contract. The $318,000, just for point of clarification, is that funding shall be provided from the drainage district.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
18F is approval of a resolution for designation of authorized bonded signatories for the Texas General Land Office contract, Community Development and Revitalization CDR, for the following grant. The grant is a 215 floods General Land Office contract number 18-271-000-A923.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
F2 is requesting authority to authorize the county judge to sign any and all documents regarding the General Land Office funds.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Item G is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 264.024A4 for professional engineering services.
So move.
Second.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
G2 is a presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking by Commissioners Court of at least 3 engineering firms from the county's approved pool as graded and evaluated by the City of Palmview, the Urban County Program, and the Hidalgo County Purchasing Department in connection with the Palmview Parks and Recreational Facilities Improvement Funds. The 3 firms evaluated are Javier Hinojosa Engineering with a grade of 92.66, LNG Engineering with a grade of 90.33, and Meldon and Hunt with a grade of 86.66. Would you like to rank them in this order?
Second.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
G3 is requesting authority to negotiate a professional engineering service contract with the number 1 ranked firm of Javier Hinojosa Engineering for the provision of these services to the City of Palmview.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item H is subject to House Bill 1295 compliance, requesting the consideration and action to award and enter into a construction contract with Go Underground LLC for a total contract amount of $225,016 for a City of Wesco project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item I is subject to House Bill Compliance 1295, requesting authority to purchase fire station equipment through the county's membership participation with Buy Board's awarded vendor, Casco Industries, contract number 543-17, in the amount of $8,709.40, and this is also for the Elsa Fire Station project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Our final item is subject to House Bill 1295 compliance, requesting authority to purchase fire station equipment, which consists of portable radios with the county's membership participation with Buy Board's awarded vendor, Tri-County Communications Ltd., contract number 523-17/524-17, in the amount of $12,050 for the City of Elsa Fire Department.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 19, our Health Department.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. Item 19A, sir, Health Department TB Control. Requesting approval to submit a request to extend the TB State FY18 program through August 31st, 2019. The budget interlocal application is for an allocation of $605,561, and it's for the period of 9/1/2018 through 8/31/2019. The grant requires 20% local match, which is part of our budgetary action. And again, this is a very competitive grant, sir, and we're really excited to get it again this year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B1, discussion action included but not limited to healthcare funding district and expenditures. So there is nothing there unless there's any questions or concerns you may have. Item C, sir, is indigent healthcare program discussion of possible action to amend the current Hidalgo County pauper burial policy to include a secondary review process by the county judge's designee.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2, discussion action included but not limited to indigent healthcare program plan 15 waiver expenditures. There is no questions or items there unless you have any questions. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Item 20, adult probation. Let's proceed to item 21, our community service agents.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Item 21A is discussion, consideration, and possible action to amend the Comprehensive Energy Assistance Program CAP distribution model as per recommendation by Hidalgo County CSA Board. Let me give just a few points of information if they would bring the PowerPoint presentation up. Judge, Commissioner, just as a refresher, in order to qualify for the Comprehensive Energy Assistance Program, residents of Hidalgo County must submit an application. They must provide proof of identity and residency to our program. Actually, also provide a copy of their current utility bill, and they must be determined income eligible. The income eligibility guideline that's set by the state for this program is anyone living below 150% of federal poverty. For a family of 4, that would be $31,375 per year to be eligible for our program, to be assisted with utility assistance in our program. Again, just as a refresher, the number of households, total households in Hidalgo County, according to the Community Commons website and the American Community Survey of the U.S. Census Bureau, there's 224,021 households in Hidalgo County. Households that fall below 100% of federal poverty, there's 69,943. That's approximately 70,000 families. However, our program serves families that are below 150% of federal poverty. The estimates are that's more or less about 100,000 families in Hidalgo County. In our particular program, we have funding available for roughly 6,000 households, 6,000 families. So there's a huge disparity between the 100,000 that qualify potentially and the 6,000 that we can assist. And incidentally, statewide, the average percentage of assistance is about 6%. So we're very much in line with the household average. The current service delivery model is we're serving 70 households per day. That's 40 households within our office. So those are families that come into our office and apply, and roughly 30 households in the community. The community can either be a satellite location, where we're in Las Milpas. We also have an office in San Carlos. We'll be opening up an office in Precinct 3, and we're looking to open an office in Precinct 1 as well. We also serve families that come in that are currently disconnected from utility service. Those folks can come in at any time, and we're able to assist them with that one particular month. Vulnerable families, those are families that have someone who may be disabled, that may be elderly, or have children under the age of 6. They qualify for 4 payments, utility payments during the year. And families who are non-vulnerable, that's everybody else that qualifies for our program, they're eligible for three payments. That's the model that we have right now. So we're accepting 40 families that come into our office on a daily basis and 30 in the community. The recommended CF service delivery model, I will say that we had an advisory board meeting on Friday. We presented a lot of different options to the advisory board. The 9-member board reviewed the different options and asked us to pretty much stay the same with one notable exception. I will tell you, gentlemen, that we're currently experiencing a large number of families that come to us and spend the night at our front door looking for assistance. We do everything we can to discourage that. We put notes on the doors in English and Spanish, letting families know that we're only accepting 40 families per day, letting them know that we're at the different locations in the community, but yet we still have people that are spending the night at our front door. To discourage that, or to address that, what we're doing is we kept the service delivery model the same, and we're looking to set appointments for those families that are coming to our door that are in excess of the 40 that we can see on a daily basis. Those 70 families that I mentioned that we see on a daily basis, that's not just a number that we pull arbitrarily. That's a number that we have to that we adhere by in order to meet our budgetary guidelines. So the one change I would ask you all to review is that we would be allowed to set appointments for those families in excess of the 40 that are coming to our front door on a daily basis. I would entertain any questions.
You need action to amend that?
Yes, sir, please.
So move.
You need a second?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners. Item 21B, authorization to accept the donation from the City of Walton in the amount of $2,500 for the benefit of volunteers enrolled in the Retired Senior Volunteer Program, sponsored by Hidalgo County Community Service Agency, and authorization to allocate the funds in the amount of $2,500 to the CSA RSVP local fund.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 21C, authorization to accept the donation of the 29 space heaters from Ontravision Communications with an approximate value of $1,084.43. Heaters were distributed by the Hidalgo County Community Service Agency as per program guidelines.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Item 22, our IT department.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. IT department, so a small item is a discussion and approval of updated IT department acceptable use policy. Just as some background information, in 2004, the county passed a series of IT-specific policies on do's and don'ts and other matters, and we routinely update them. This is one of those updates requesting approval.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Motion
Have a
carries.
great day.
Thank you.
Item 24, our public defender.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Jim
Morning,
Rosas,
sir.
the Public Defender's Office. Item number 24.
Public Defender, TTBH, Fund 1281, discussion, consideration, and approval of amendment to the interlocal agreement between Texas Tropical Behavioral Health, Hidalgo County, by and through the Hidalgo County Public Defender's Office.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Number 2, authorization for county judge as authorized official to sign amendment to the interlocal agreement, award, and related documents.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Item number 3, approval and certification of revenues by the county auditor in the amount of $15,000.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item number 4, approval and appropriation of funds in the amount of $15,000.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. Number 5, approval to authorize the decrease of supplemental pay allowance for the following employee effective 2/22/18. Employee number 160954, Public Defender 3, to $11,600.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Item 25, our Wic program.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. Clarissa Ramirez with the Hidalgo County Wic Program, here to present on item 25A, requesting approval to accept the certificate of acquisition by political subdivision or assistance organization to the Hidalgo County Health and Human Services Wic Program, consisting of Microsoft tablets, Dell Latitude laptops, Dell Optiplex desktops, as indicated in the attachment of Exhibit A, for a total of 184 pieces.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 26, Precinct 1.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item 26A, approval and authorization to increase the current change fund by $100 from $100 to $200 for the sanitation collection permits in accordance with Texas Local Government Code 130.902.
Second.
Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 27, Precinct 2.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Item 27A, we have approval of resolutions of support and financial commitment for the following multifamily rental housing development projects by applicants seeking competitive 9% housing tax credits to satisfy the requirements set forth by the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs. I have 4 listed, but number 4 I'm going to pull from the list, and so we will only have 3 to approve today. And that is number 1, FAR Innovation Partners, number 2, TGO North Alamo 18 Limited Partnership, and number 3, TGO Ridge Villas 18 Limited Partners.
Move for approval 1, 2, 3.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 27B, we're requesting approval of an interlocal cooperation agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of Alamo regarding road improvements for the Precinct 2 Rancho Blanco Road from FM 907 east, 1,300 linear feet.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B2, in accordance with Section 791.014 of the Texas Government Code, we're requesting approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement project for the Precinct 2 Rancho Blanco project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 27C, we're requesting acceptance and approval of the application and service agreement with North Alamo Water Supply Corporation for a permanent water meter relocation at the Precinct 2 Lopezville Park, with authority for the county judge to execute the service agreement and application.
Move for approval.
Second.
Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 27D, we're requesting acceptance and approval to submit a subdivision application to the City of FAR for the Precinct 2 Las Milpas Park Youth Facility Project in the City of FAR, Texas, with authority for the county judge to execute the application.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 27E, receipt, review, and approval of closing documents for the purchase of Parcel 1 and 4 and Parcel 3 for the Precinct 2 Rancho Blanco Road project, with authority for the county judge and/or executive officer to sign the closing documents.
Approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries.
Item 27F, requesting authorization for title reports, appraisals, surveys, meets and bounds, and acquisition of land for the Precinct 2 Moore Road project.
Approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Item 28, Precinct 4.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. For 28A, if we could please table that item.
No action.
No action. And then 28B, it's a status update on the application submitted by Hidalgo County Precinct 4 to the COG for the Regional Solid Waste Grant Program fiscal year 2018-2019. And we just wanted to share the good news that we came out in the finalist list to get $30,000, and I want to thank Commissioner Fuentes, because I know that he sits on the board and he championed that application. That's going to be to conduct countywide waste programs that are going to benefit the whole county. And we did want to have, there's no action on item 1, but for item 2, it's discussion, consideration, and action authorizing the submittal of a resolution supporting the preliminary funding list for the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council's Regional Waste Solid Grant Program fiscal year 2018-2019.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you. And then if we could table and no action for item C, 1 and 2. And then for item D, consideration and approval of a resolution and an interlocal cooperation agreement between Hidalgo County and TxDOT for prefabricated items testing and inspection of bridge-related items only performed by TxDOT Construction Division for the 10th Street Extension Project.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, because we're going to be lacking a quorum anyway, we're going to take about a 5 to 10 minute break.
Morning, Judge, Commissioner. Sergio Cruz, Department of Budget Management. Item 29A, 1A and B is approval of certification of revenues as certified by the county auditor and appropriation of those funds in the amount of $1,123,669.60. This is for the 1115 waiver program.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, also if I could take item 20A is approval and ratification of the Hidalgo County Substance Abuse Treatment Facility Grant number 2928003 budget amendment submitted to the Office of the Governor to extend the grant period from June 30th, 2018 to September 30th, 2018. This is on behalf of the Adult Probation Department.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. All right, moving on to item 30, our purchasing.
Told you said that's for last. Item 30A, number, actually, it's going to be number C. The presentation of the monthly report by Program Manager Jacobs Incorporated of the construction of the new Hidalgo County Courthouse. We want to have a short report, I think.
They're behind you, Marty.
You're ambushing me over here. It's fine. You have the floor, gentlemen.
Good morning again, Commissioners and Judge. We should have had a PowerPoint somewhere that went along with this. But it is coming. Okay. I do.
No, they didn't.
You ready?
Yes.
I think. Oh. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we've done everything else.
So good morning. We wanted to take just a brief minute to update you guys on where we are with the project. I think it's our intention to do this monthly to let you know where we are. So just a few bullet points. The design team is under contract. and working hard to get things done. The schematic design plans are nearly complete, and most of the user groups have signed off. Everybody but two, and it's my understanding that they've approved what's on paper. We just need to get their signature there to say that they agree. So that's a good milestone in the process. Beyond that, we're working on independent estimates. So HDR has their estimator working on their estimate. Jacobs is working on theirs independently, and then once we've completed those, we'll get together and compare notes, look for any sort of oddities in there that need to be corrected, so that we've got a good idea that we've got a project that's within budget. We've already started some geotechnical and topographical studies here. We're coordinating through your facilities folks to make sure that we're getting word out that we're out and we're doing things, so people don't see some guy standing out on the street looking through a scope and stuff. We're coordinating what it is that we're doing, and those are all important steps in site development, so as we get ready to proceed into design development. Let's see what else we got there. Oh, and then we're working through the Klausner Road issues there so that we can get that transitioned over to county. As you're all aware, that's an important part of the process as we close that down to build over the top of it. Looking ahead, so I think that we're probably middle of March, if I'm not mistaken, March 13th. HDR plans to come in and make their presentation for the SD plans and present to you the estimates that go along with it. And so obviously the intent there is to come in and to HDR will make the presentation of this is what the SD plan looks like, and along with that will be the estimate. Okay, so at that time, they'll actually have an actionable item, hopeful to get into the notice to proceed for design development. Okay, and that's next month. Okay, so the CM risk contractor is, we talked about them this morning. The intent is to have them under contract so that they can get in and start looking at constructability, as well as providing some estimates on, actual construction estimates, so we can see where we are. Then once they're on board, we'll also start to work on the development of a site logistics plan. That's a real important part of the process, so that everybody can know how we're going to continue to conduct business while we build. How are we going to do that safely? How are we going to be good neighbors to the other businesses around the area, including the existing county courthouse? And then the expected groundbreaking looks like it's going to be late in the third quarter. That's the goal. Okay. What else we got there? So I will let Aaron talk to you just a little bit about the website that we've got set up.
Thank you very much, Brian. One of the things that was made clear certainly early on, and that we certainly advocate for in a public project, is public transparency of the progress of the project. And so what we wanted to do is really point the public to your website. We have a live dashboard, and as we develop these monthly reports, we'll be posting more information as well. The URL is up on the screen, but it's easy to access from the website. You go to the County Government tab. All the way on the right, it says New Courthouse Project. Click on that and you can navigate the information. And the dashboard has a latest and greatest update on where we are with cost. So where's our budget, where are our commitments, our expected future commitments, where we're projecting whether it be over, under budget, on budget, and then how much money we've actually spent to date with details of that. A second page of that is also a milestone type schedule. It sort of gives you sort of these key highlights of when we expect things to happen. That data is updated monthly, or if there are major changes at that time as well in a live view. Certainly as we get into construction, we'll be able to post progress photos, but we will highlight and we will keep that regularly updated so the public is aware. And it's also a resource for y'all and whomever else may want to have any answers to questions on the progress.
Are you working with our IT department on where it's located on the website?
So the IT department actually has been great. They give us access to edit the page ourselves. So if you do have suggestions of where to locate that on the website, we can certainly work with them to make it more.
If we could have like a shortcut banner or something on the front page. Let's not bury it inside like a department, 3 levels deep. Let's put it on the front page so that people can click on it and get access quickly.
Yeah, that's a great recommendation. We'll work with them. The great thing is we're co-located on the 4th floor with them, so we'll just go down the hall right after this and talk to them about it.
Thanks.
Okay. I think that's it. So, thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, moving on to item 2. This is requesting approval to declare the items listed in Exhibit A. Did they have something? You have something to say? Oh, okay. On Exhibit A, office furniture, equipment, vehicles, and boats for the purpose of sale through an online auction scheduled for March the 7th in accordance with Texas Local Government Code 263-152A1.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
B is requesting authority to publish advertisement for the auction that we just mentioned, including but not limited to seized, abandoned, and unclaimed property also.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 3 is acceptance and approval of First Amendment to the letter of engagement between county and the firm to reflect name change of company from Burton, McCumber, and Cortez, LLP to Burton, McCumber, and Longoria, LLP.
So moved.
Second. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 4 is more of informational purposes for the court. This is notification to Commissioners Court on status of current contract number 035 for broadcasting of the rebroadcasting of Commissioners Court meetings with our communications included but not limited to. It's the notice of the impending sale of MBTV Texas Valley LLC DBA our communications by an unknown buyer. We don't know who they are. KMBH channel 38.2 has been off the air for technical difficulties. So they're televised at a discounted price, which we're going to address in a few minutes, on Channel 10 until problem is resolved. On our communications advising that accounts receivable and contracts are still negotiated at the time of this agenda. So we haven't received any other, we don't know if they're going to buy the contract to continue this rebroadcasting. We don't know what arrangements are being made, and we're trying to solicit information on a daily basis to see how those negotiations are going. So that's just for informational purposes. On B, it's approval of an amendment to the current agreement between Hidalgo County and MBTV Texas Valley LLC, DBA our communications, reducing the rates for broadcasting because of them having to have a substitute for us. I need approval of that.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
On item 5, this is requesting approval to complete and submit credit application document with Enterprise Fleet Management for the lease of 58 vehicles for various county departments for the anticipated planned 5 consecutive leasing phases or rounds with an estimate of 60 vehicles leased per phase or round until county fleet has been replaced, excluding law enforcement, with authority for the County Executive Officer Valdeguerra to sign the credit application document.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B is requesting approval to enter into the 58 lease agreements for the term of 60 months each with awarded vendor Enterprise Fleet Management through Hidalgo County's membership through the TIPS contract number as stated for an estimated total amount of $235,174.16 for the 8 remaining months of fiscal year 18.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And C is requesting county judge to be listed as an authorized signee and recommending Valdeguerra, County Executive Officer, as an additional authorized signee on the authorized signature certificate provided by Enterprise Fleet Management.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 6 is Constable's Office Precinct 5, requesting approval of a discretionary exemption pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262-024A9C, personal property sold by a state agency of the state. Need the exemption.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B is authorization and approval to purchase through the Texas Facilities Commission State Surplus Property Program created under Government Code 2175.001 the following vehicles as listed on the agenda. They are used and for the amounts listed.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item C is authority for purchasing department to review, requisition, and process purchase order, and for county treasurer's office to issue a check in the amount of the PO made payable to Texas Facilities Commission's Department of Public Safety. This is because they won't accept just a PO. You need to send the check with it.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item B is Precinct 1, approval of a final negotiated professional services agreement with Alpha Infrastructure for professional engineering services, Precinct 1's Gonzalez Road project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
B, pursuant to the preceding item with Alpha Infrastructure, approval of authorization 1, $44,930 for the Gonzalez Road project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Approval of final negotiated professional services agreement with Earthco LLC for professional engineering services, geotechnical and construction materials testing for Precinct 1's Gonzalez Road project.
Move for approval. Second.
Need a second?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item D is pursuant to the preceding item, Earthco, approval of work authorization 1 in the amount of $30,030 for that Gonzalez Road project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Precinct 1 is requesting acceptance approval work authorization 2 with an estimated cost of $457,600 as submitted by L&G Engineers, contract number 103, to provide professional engineering services required for the completion of the right-of-way map, additional surveying services, right-of-way acquisition services for 11 parcels, additional appraisals, reviews, and utility management for mile 6 from mile 9 to mile 11 project.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 3, we're asking no action at this time. Item 4, requesting approval for payment of claims to Matheson, invoices totaling $170.10, including the authority for the county treasurer to pay.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Precinct 2, item 1, requesting approval to purchase one new Laymore SM450 sweeper through the county's participation with the TASB by Board Cooperative Purchasing Programs. Vendor is Anderson Machinery, San Antonio. Contract number 515, requisition 366616 in the amount of $51,816.
Approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262-024A4, a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking of those evaluated, those professionals, firms evaluated through the county's approved pool. And this is for Precinct 2 Las Milpas Road, 10th Street, McCall Road project. And they were Cruz Hogan, 96, Quintanilla Headley and Associates at 97, B2Z Engineering 98. Does the court wish to recommend the order of the scores?
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Authority for the Purchasing Department to negotiate a professional services agreement with number 1 ranked B2Z for professional engineering service for that project of 10th Street McCall Road.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Pursuant to Hidalgo County's legal notice, page 2, paragraph 2, recommendation, as it is in the best interest of county to do so, to waive the technicality of vendor Erickson Construction LLC failure to submit addendum 1, which was only reflecting the starting time of the pre-bid and submitted meeting and pre-submittal meeting with all the vendors attending and present, and which in no way did it affect the outcome of the submitted bid. So we are asking for that.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Presentation of the scoring grid for the purposes of ranking of the graded and evaluated submissions of the RFQP, and this is for construction management at risk of Las Mispas Park Youth Facility. As you can see, Erickson is 96.3, Ultramont 91.6, Gonzalez de la Garza and Associates 92.6, Rigney 89.6, RG Enterprises 85.3. Does the court wish to rank them in the order of their scores?
So moved. Second.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Authority for the Purchasing Department to commence negotiations with the number one ranked firm of Erickson Construction for the construction manager at risk for the Las Milpas Park Youth Facility.
Move approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Precinct 4, item D1, requesting approval of professional services agreement with Stames Incorporated for the purpose of surveying services for project-specific design and construction of county services facilities located in Precinct 1, project carried by the Executive Office, and this is subject to compliance with all required documentation.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E1, this is Sheriff's Office, requesting approval to complete and submit the attached credit application document required by Briggs Equipment, including authority of county judge or sheriff to execute the document.
So for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is presentation of the response received for the sole responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid, and this is for the Sheriff's Office Radiological Diagnostic and Related Mobile Services, Calera Incorporated DBA Rio Grande Valley Mobile X-Rays through the RFSQ number 39.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
F1 is countywide, requesting exemption from competitive bidding procurement requirements, Texas Local Government Code 262-0247, and A, and items can be obtained only from one source.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
B is requesting approval of sole source declaration for Clear Impact LLC for the purpose of an online software. This is for their software and related services for all countywide, but we're commencing with the Sheriff's Office.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Judge, Commissioners, with your permission, I'd like to go back to item 15. Constable 5. Again, it was discussion, consideration, approval to appoint Jesse James Vega and Jacob Garcia as Reserve Deputy Constable by Constable Daniel Matachular, Constable Precinct 5, in accordance with Texas Local Government Code Section 86.012.
Approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Steve, with respect to closed session.
Well, you got open forum then.
Oh, open forum, yes. I'm sorry. I do have two participants. First participant is Ms. Fern McClarity. I will remind everybody in the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium. There's a 3-minute time limit. I will advise when there's 1 minute.
And I did sign up the participation form. When y'all voted a few minutes ago on those 58 to leasing agreement with the vehicle stuff, that's $235,174.16. Why are we leasing stuff? I think we just bought a huge amount of vehicles, or y'all are going to buy a huge amount. To us, when you lease something, that's like taking a trash can and throwing it in the trash. Y'all didn't seem to have a problem with it. You voted for it quickly. So our question is, what do we get? Because at least when you purchase it, you have something to trade, sell, something. This, you're just throwing it in the trash. But y'all didn't seem to care. And you could answer me because I did sign the participation form. And we're still asking y'all to take the buildings and the property that the county owns throughout here and find out if we can use them, fix them up, tear them down, build something new, whatever. Again, we're leasing a building for the veterans, which they need a building and they needed room. But why aren't we looking to see what we have in the county that we could have used? That one I didn't sign up for, so you can't.
I did answer that question. I didn't see you in the audience. I think you were outside, but I did answer that. But I'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay. And again, like I say, we know there's buildings like the one on North 10th that we would like to see something done. We had to purchase it and we had to buy it, Joe. but we're not doing anything with it. So we would like you to check and see if we can't fix that building up for someone in the county.
That is not correct. It is being utilized.
But not by people. I
Yes.
understand that
No,
we have...
Okay, I'll talk to you after.
All right, we have one part of the building, I believe, is using as office, but I understood that there was storage in the other. We have requested a walkthrough for that building, and we have not received it yet. And again, on the program, I don't know, I think we're paying somewhere an average of $6,000 or something for airing the program, and the people are not being able to see it. Could you not check with some other stations or something and see if you can get it to the public, because you're only getting it to a small group for a big price? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next presenter is Mike Farias. Mr. Farias?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Sorry, I was in your blind.
Oh, there you go.
Apologize.
Judge, Commissioners,
Morning,
how you all
sir.
doing? Good morning, good afternoon. I forget what time it is, but I just wanted to come up here. Real simple. I just wanted to ask a question. It has to do, and it already passed, with the mobile election sites. Originally, the Edinburgh School District was asked if they could use Economides and North for mobile units on February the 22nd, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And then all of a sudden, they got pulled out and they weren't used. And I was just wondering why that happened, number one. And number two, I noticed on the draft which you guys approved was McAllen had one at the school district and PSJ had two in their school district. And I'm just wondering, is there any way, I know you already voted on it, but is there any way that we could do that because of the geographical locations that they're both at? They're out in the rural area, north, and the other one is in Econ. And the only other two close ones that are there is the one in San Marcos and the one, the old Robert Chevrolet. And because of the large turnout that we had in the last election, it would behoove, and I think it would definitely justify the availability for extra polling sites so they could go ahead and have accessibility to our constituents to go out there and vote. That's something I just wanted to ask of why was it requested? We did our applications and then all of a sudden it was pulled out. And I was just asking if you could please look into that and if you could reconsider allowing those two sites for February the 22nd as requested from the elections office. That's all I wanted to ask and just voice my opinion concerning that. Okay? Is there any questions or no? Okay.
We will look into it then.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Steve, with respect to closed session, do you have anything that we would need to go back? Because the two items I have, I can do in open session.
No, sir.
Commissioners? Judge? Okay, Judge, Commissioners, and
Go ahead.
With respect to a closed session, we'll go straight to open session. 34A, real estate acquisition appropriation percent, there's no action to be taken. 34B, pending and or potential litigation, no action to be taken. 34C, Hidalgo County versus Araceli Ramirez Cuenta. Judge, Commissioners, for the record, I'd just like to say that this is being assigned to the Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office for subrogation purposes. I'm going to ask the court just to, by vote,
so
acknowledge.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 34D, Hidalgo County versus Guadalupe Ramirez, the same for subrogation purposes. We're assigning this to Ms. Josephine Ramirez's office. And again, just for the record.
So moved on 32D.
Second.
Those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
That's it.
That's it. There's no need to go back into closed or open session. We have adjournment for the record.
Need a motion to adjourn?
Second. A motion to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay. We will be having court next week.
We are?
Yes.